Well, hello, dear friend. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of the Counsel and Encouragement Expedition podcast here for the month of May in 2020. I'm Edward Ruiz. I'll be your host for the next 31 days, hopefully providing counsel and encouragement for the building up and edification of your faith. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Psalm 119:50. I'm going to go right to the Bible. And the reason why I'm coming in here in this particular text is because over the last 2 weeks or so, I've been going through the Psalms, and I've come across now Psalm 119. But for the last couple of days, I've just been sitting on this particular verse 50. And it's a very poignant passage right now in light of everything that's going on with COVID. And so let me just read it to you real quickly, and I'm going to share a couple of thoughts with you. So Psalm 119, verse 50, I'm going to read out of the NIV version. It says this, quote, "My comfort in my suffering is this, your promise preserves my life." Now, one of the things that you pick up throughout the whole psalm there in Psalm 119 are reference after reference to the commands of God, to the precepts of God, to the law of God as being what comforts him and what provides solace to him, to the psalmist, and even in the midst of suffering and difficulty. And so the psalmist arrives at this point of acknowledging that his comfort in his suffering is the promises of God. And so, right now, this is a very poignant time. We're all going through some kind and some level of difficulty and pain and suffering. We're losing jobs. We're losing money. Our resources are diminishing. And so anxiety and fear and even loneliness and depression can creep up, because those are the things that we go to that provide some kind of comfort sometimes. And sometimes there are automatic emotional responses. And so I want to encourage you and have you consider to go to God. And what is the ultimate promise that God gives us? It's the promise of reconciliation. It's the promise of unity with him. It's the promise of his son, of knowing his son, Jesus. That's the ultimate promise that we need right now, especially right now in the midst of this pandemic and the difficulty we're going through. So my prayer for you is that your comfort in your suffering is the experience of knowing Jesus and having unity with him and forgiveness with him and oneness with him. That's the ultimate promise. We go to him in faith, then he will comfort us. There's a quote there. He says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And so may this be true of us. May your comfort and your suffering be this, that God's promises preserve your life. I pray that was a blessing and encouragement to you. Please tune in tomorrow, where we will continue in day 2 of our May Counsel and Encouragement Expedition podcast. Until then, I look forward to connecting with you. Hey there, real quickly, if you want to learn more about CCFS, please visit at ccfamilyservices.com. There you'll learn about the mission and vision of CCFS, as well as a central place for all kinds of materials, articles, blogs, and things of that sort that I try to make available to you. Or if you think you might benefit from some counseling, my contact information is there. Or if you want to refer someone for counseling, you can send them my website, ccfamilyservices.com. Thank you so much for checking us out, and I look forward to connecting with you.